Jeff Al Gilberts. Welcome to my gym in my home. Tonight I'm going to talk about culture, why it should matter to you. What is it? And for those of you that do not know me, I've been involved in network marketing for 41 years. 28 years ago, I started on a serious level this business by selling a junk truck. I was broke, bankrupt, and sold it for $400, put $200 into my business, and I flew like, I don't know, like a bat out of Hades. And been full-time ever since, just loving it. I'm going to acknowledge some awesome people that want to come out of the shadows into the campfire. John's one of them. Hey, John, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. Hey, Dawn, good to see you. Good morning in the Philippines. Rosia in California. Oliver, what's up, dude? How are you doing? Good to see you. I hope everyone's having a great week so far. Kicking it off right. Yeah, good. And I know this is like later than I usually do, my lives. I just can't seem to, finally when I come to the gym, I just start working out and I start listening to music and then sometimes just some audio trainings or whatever. And then, hey, Markian, good to see you. And I don't know, next thing I know, wow, it's 10:30 in the evening, but it really doesn't matter. Networkers, we're night people. We are night people. And I'm just one of those that, sometimes I could be up till 2 in the morning. I'm not, like my friend Ray Higdon, he's like, he wakes up the sun. I mean, he's up at 5 in the morning. I'm like, what do you do at 5 in the morning, So I don't even want to know what 5 in the morning looks like, okay? It sounds scary. But anyway, so, hey, Olinia, you're up late. Okay. So here's the thing. I wanted to just talk about culture. What is culture and why it should matter to you? And why culture is important. In our network marketing profession. What is it? What is it not? How does it get created? And then how do you grow it? So those are just some of the thoughts that we can talk about now. I remember when what made me think about this was I was looking at some photos in memories today in Facebook memories. And anyway, but I saw, I was at a Top Earner Club. That's a group that Ray Higdon formed. We call it TEC, Top Earner Club. And I remember one of the slides Ray had up on the screen. And I remember it said that in order to be a happy, productive leader, you don't have to be branded, but you have to embrace culture. Boom. That was it. You don't have to be branded, but you have to embrace culture if you're going to be a happy leader. It's so true. It really is. It's so true. Because I can see leaders that never created culture or the right culture. Even though they might have made a lot of money, they didn't have the right culture. So they weren't happy, productive people. They're still not happy people. I know these people. So, if we have to give a definition of culture, we could give it a definition like this. It's a community of people who have or share commonalities in belief and values and purpose. So commonality and all those things. Again, beliefs, value, purpose. It can go deeper than that. It can embrace more than that. But we'll say, but that's what the community's got to be about. So when you think of the network marketing culture, it needs to fulfill a significant emotional need. Boom. That's it. It needs to fulfill a significant emotional need. If you're going to keep people around the campfire, if you're going to keep people with you, then that's what you're going to have to do. Otherwise, they'll go to a different campfire. If you just got barely a flicker going, they say, not enough heat here, not enough fire, I'm going to a different camp. Right? So that's the thing that we have to really focus on, is just that. And so in doing that, we need to understand one thing, and that is that not all cultures are the same. Not all cultures are the same. You may not like the culture you're presently in right now. You may not like it. And here's the thing, that's not a bad thing if you don't like it. The fact is that you know what's lacking, so then you know what culture you need to create for your team. But let's look at some of those cultures right now. So when we talk about business, for example, we talk about, especially in the network marketing aspect, we talk about 4 cultures that affect you in a good way or a bad way. It could be either way. So the first is industry. What is the culture of the network marketing industry? Number 2, what is the culture of the company you are in? Number 3, the team that you are in. What is that culture like? And number 4, you. You. What does that look like? So when we think about it, and here's the thing, the first three, that is the industry, the company, the team, you can't control that. You don't control that. You have 0 control over that. You only have control over you. But the fact is, you can influence those other cultures, such as the industry, such as the company, such as the team. You can. It might be an uphill battle, but you can make a strong effort. Let me give you an example of a bad culture from a perspective, okay? So let's take the guy that's president right now, okay? Let's take that for perfect example. So one of the things he said he was going to do when he came in office, he was going to help, the unfortunate, different ones out there to get a start in business, give them a financial handout, some supports. But it cannot be white people or Asians in the United States. So if you're white, you're Asian, no. That means if your children are white or Asian, no. It can only go to black and Spanish. Just black and Spanish, that's it. Now let me ask you, do you think that encourages racism, or do you think it discourages racism in our country? What kind of culture does that create? What are the consequences of a culture such as that? Could be a revolution later. It could reach a boiling point, because it won't be just that. It'll be a lot of other things they do too. And people are going to say, you know what? This is racism. That's all this is. Pure racism. Right. See, that's the thing. So that's an example of, so when we talk about the industry, in that case, I was talking about government, but it doesn't matter. Our government, by its policies, can create bad culture in the United States. It can do that. Or it can create good culture by what it does. It's the choices. So when we look at the network marketing industry, for example, when we think about it, there's been a lot of people in our industry that we did not need in the network marketing industry. They were not good people. They were greedy people. They were all about the money, maybe flashing checks. It was all about greed. It was all about gain. It wasn't about contribution, about doing things for others. So we've had a mix of that, haven't we? That's not something I can control because I didn't do it. You didn't do it, right? We can't control that. But that's part of it. And so there's perception out there sometimes when you say network marketing, and then people are like, okay, aha, they know about the culture, right? All right. Hopefully it's not, you don't run into that too much. Hopefully you don't, but it's been out. And here's the upside. The upside is that you see companies out there that really try to do good things. And we'll talk about that in a second, because let's talk about the second one, and that is the company, right? The company culture. Again, if companies do things right, if they, for example, your company, maybe your company has certain programs that the leaders, the members of your company can support, contribute, that perhaps feeds children around the world, builds schools around the world. I know the company that I've been in for 22 years does that. We build schools, give them school supplies, do everything we can, help HIV orphanages, for example, support that, building, what else? Oh yeah, of course, the food program, supporting the #1 distributor for food out there, Children International. Hope I got that right. Anyway, things like that. If your company is known for that, that's good culture. That's very good culture. Because what is that? That's all about. This is not about business. This is about helping people. Of course, you're in your company for business, possibly, but it's not all about business. It's about how can we take this business and this company and make a difference in the world. Yes, now we're talking about world culture, aren't we? Because we could, if nations work together and they did things like that, wow, what a difference the world would be, right? So the thing about it is, if your company is known for that, that's a good thing. On the other hand, for example, I got a email from a leader in the UK, and she wanted some help because a leader that she had been working with, somebody had cross-sponsored that person in the company I'm in. So I had to reach out, and support her on that, reach out to the legal departments. Not right, not right. Stealing's wrong. That's a bad culture. If a person was in a company that tolerated they just, they turn their head, they're just going to let it go. What does it matter? The person's in our company anyway. If that was the attitude, that's a bad culture. And that individual or different individuals, when they hear about that, they'd think, you know what? I don't trust a company like that. Nah, I'm not staying with a company like that. If they won't protect my business, why would I be with them? Bad culture. Bad culture. Or the same thing with your team. The team, is the focus in the team that you're in? Is it all about talking about, advancing to rank, about income that certain people have? It's just bragging about the money, things like that. If that's the focus, if the focus is more on the top dogs, on the top ranked people, but not on the entry level people or the people that are just lower ranks. If there's not a place for them, if they can't feel comfortable, is that good culture? No, of course not. You know the answer to that. And so when we think about, and then we now number 4, we bring it to you. It really, for you, it starts there. It starts with your beliefs, and you might want to write that down tonight. What are your core principles that are, your core values, that things that are important to you? If it's integrity, if it's showing compassion to others, if it's making contribution, doing what you can to help others, you can make a list of things that is very important. Doing things that you cannot personally benefit from, but others can benefit from. Things like that. Supporting your leaders, valuing people that have not had any rank success. They haven't really had any results in the business yet. But do we have a culture that honors those people? Do we make them feel at home? If we do that, see, that begins with you. And that's the thing. The thing that I can remember when I first got into, well, not first got into, I'd say when I took it seriously in the 1980s, network marketing, to me, it was all about rank position. It was all about success. It was all about, hey, if you're having results, show me the money. That was it. Well, where did I learn that from? Well, I learned it from those who taught me. My upline. Yes, that's right. The team I was in, right? And then, of course, later on, when I started really thinking things out, I was saying, you know what? This doesn't work. It really doesn't work. Let me give you one example. I can remember back in, what year was that? That was like 1994. I can remember I was under the #1 income earner in our company. And he was going to introduce a training system by 2 men who had designed it for the company Amway. And Amway was run by this system. All the leaders were going by this system. So he called me up one day and he said to me, listen, we're going to do our trainings differently to really ignite the leaders throughout the United States. And I said, okay. And so we had this thing. It was a cassette subscription at that time, a cassette subscription. So it would be a different leader talking and training every month, and people would subscribe to it, and it would be mailed to their home. So they would get that every month. Then we would have different training events going on around the United States. And so I would travel not to where my team was, it would be a different team, with the idea that, the guy from out of town that comes in with the briefcase, he knows everything. Nobody knows about this guy very much. And so they really pump up that event. They pump it, they really promote his story, everything about him. They make him like a freaking god, And so when he shows up, people are going out of their minds, right? At the event. That's the idea, okay? So I said, okay. And so the idea, you fly in, they pick you up in a limousine, then they take you to the hotel where you have, a bottle of champagne and flowers and treats on the table. And then they take you to the event. They take you in the back room like you're a rock star. So this is Journey showing up. I was listening to Journey last night. I just love one CD. I was in the gym working out to it. Anyway, so you're Journey. You're in the back room. And they're out on the stage, getting everybody pumped up, ready for the speaker to come out, right? And that's the whole idea. And then you come out and you give this inspiring story and talk, and then you go in the back room and then go out the back door, get in the limousine, go back to your room. And eventually you fly home. You have dinner that night, but that's it. So you don't meet or I said to him on the phone, I said, wait a second. So I don't go out and shake hands and meet people? Oh no, you never do that. I was on a call with those 2 trainers, and that's what they said. Oh, you never do that. You don't ever shake their hands or talk to them. I said, okay, because I'm, a people person. I like to meet people and talk to people. and interact with. No, no, no. We don't want you to be looked at as normal. You are not them. You are not them. You are different. And for them to be at your level, then they have to go to your rank. Or otherwise, you're never going to have a conversation. They cannot talk to you ever. I remember what I said. I said, that doesn't sound like fun. That doesn't sound like fun to me. They said, fun? Yeah, fun. Doesn't sound like it. Okay, we'll give it a go, see what it's like. So I flew up to Baltimore. Same old thing. Yeah, limousine, go to your room, then back in the limousine, go to the event, go out on stage. And that was the process. Boom, yeah, everybody's cheering, it's like the rock band, right? Then backstage, limousine, gone. I thought, golly, man, how do you have friends this way? This is before social media, too, keep it in mind, right? I thought, what kind of culture is this? What kind of culture? It's not my kind of culture. But they're like, if you want to be successful in network marketing and make the big money, this is the way you do it. All right, so, okay. So those are my thoughts on that. But here's the thing. So that's the thing that you have to think about, is that you have to decide what your culture is, what it's all about. What are the things most important to you, the things that you value the most? Here's the thing is, when you think about it, you can, for example, a pastor can give a sermon at a church, right? That's part of the culture of the church. You can have a car wash fundraise, That can be part of the culture as well, because the money's going to something charitable, right? That's all part of it. Those things are part of it, but that's not the culture. It's only part of the culture. Only part of the culture. Again, at the end of the day, it's how people feel. So the things that you do, the things that you endorse, the things that you promote will make them feel a certain way. So for example, I heard it said a long time ago that, people will join you for money, but what keeps them is being valued. People will join you for money, but what keeps them is being valued. That's culture. It's how they feel. So again, things that you can do and so you can do that at your events. Of course, we're not doing too many venue events right now, but you can do it on your Zoom calls. You can do it in your Facebook groups. You can start showing up more and more in honoring people in your group, honoring the person who sponsored the first leader or the first customer, honoring the person that got their first commission from the company, even if it was only $25. And then, because you're cheering that on and you teach your leaders to cheer those kind of things on, you're going to see results. Also, in the way that you show up in your Facebook. Does it show you, I'm not saying that you need to be braggadocio, is that such a word? Bragging about something you've done that was compassionate or charitable. If you were at St. Jude's Hospital and you were just going there to pay a visit, maybe you made a donation, but you wanted to pay a visit. Maybe you wanted to walk in with your kids and really let them see the other side of how the other world lives. Children that have cancer, things like that. Or if it's a simple thing in community where you got a poor family and you're helping repair their roof, or you're delivering food to somebody. Matter of fact, my son Micah, I was very proud of my son Micah today, because when I talked to him on the phone, I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm delivering some food." I said, "To who?" He said, to that woman who's got COVID and her children have got COVID. I'm delivering food to them. I said, "That's a good thing. That's a good thing." So when your leader's seeing you show up like that, that tells them volumes about you. But it inspires them to be more like you. Thinking, wow, man, that is so good. You know, I need to do that. I really need to do that. There's a lot of people hurting out there. What can I do to make a difference? See, that's all about culture. So it really makes people bond stronger together. I mean, my team is 22 years old. So, you know, we talk about creating the sticky stuff that keeps leaders around more and more. That's it. I was looking at one of my leaders in Malaysia, the country of Malaysia, Sherry Den. And one thing I noticed with Sherry, man, she's always, you know, somebody that achieves something. It doesn't always have to be rank. It could be something. It doesn't matter. She's got a picture of them and talking about what they did. And I'm like, I'm watching her volume like go up and believe me, they got their problems of COVID over there is the same problems that we got here in the United States, right? But she's rocking it. But I'll tell you where she's rocking it most is with culture. She's honoring people, making people feel very special. Again, what is culture? At the end of the day, it's how we make people feel. It's how we make people feel, good or bad, right? Yeah, good or bad. You know, that's the thing. So like I talked about in the beginning, you got a president that says, hey, if you're white, if you're Asian, nah. If you're black and Spanish, hey, we'll support you. What kind of culture is that? Crazy. Could you imagine us saying that to our team leaders? Hey, I'll support you, but not if you're white and Asian. Oh my gosh. Horrible. So be an example of the right things. That's where culture starts, with you as a leader. With you as a leader. Promote the right things. And then show up in your Facebook groups, your Zoom calls, in different ways that you can make people feel so special, how they feel. And they really feel wanted. Because at the end of the day, when you think about it, because so much recognition goes to, you know, the top ranking people. 6-figure earners, 7-figure earners, right? And we see companies, you know, they recognize, that's what they recognize. They recognize rank. But great leaders recognize effort. The things that go unnoticed. The people that are sweeping the floor. The people that are turning the lights out when everybody left the room. Those people. You do that, you'll have a team like I've had for 22 years. There's not too many of us around anymore. But those were the things that made us great. And to tell you the truth, a lot of what we did came naturally because I always treated people that way. I treated them the way I wanted to be treated, regardless of rank. Regardless of rank. So that's the thing. Watch what you honor, watch what you endorse, watch what you promote, because that becomes the culture you're going to have. And is it going to make people feel good? Or is it going to make them feel bad? Is it going to make them feel like, you know what? I guess, you know, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to be here. And too many people do that. Bad culture. So you can't control what the industry does, what the company does, what your team or upline does, but you can control what you do. And whatever you feel is missing, if it's missing, make sure you're a promoter of that very thing that's missing, and all the other good things. And then you're going to have a culture where people are really going to grow. Hey, Yedalai, Northeast India, good to see you. She's got great culture. There's a woman right there. I'll be a quick storyteller. I've watched her. Not too many people do this, and I'm not saying that you should do it the way she does it, but I think you'll be inspired by her. But I've watched her where she'll set her health products on a table, on a dining room table, and she'll say a prayer before she begins her day. Then she puts a mask on, and she'll load the products in her car and put a mask on and go to the door, and she goes door knocking. Just like a missionary. She promotes her products, and then she also follows up on customers that she has, people that buy regularly. But she goes in and she teaches them. She teaches them how to be healthy. It's amazing. And she does incredible volume. Her and her team do incredible volume. But that's how they do it. They're like door-to-door servants. I'm talking about missionaries, like missionary style. It's unreal. Unreal. I'm so inspired by that, because in that part of the world, it's okay. That's a great way to do it. It's a great way to do it. But a lot of us that are spoiled in this country, we're so used to, hey, I'm going to send you out a link, man, and that's the product you buy, right? But again, I honor her for her incredible courage and endurance and perseverance, because they have the COVID-19 over there too. They have the pandemic over there, and yet she's a bulldog, man. She's incredible. So again, make people feel good by what you promote, by what you endorse, and what you honor. And I hope you got some value out of this, and you can share it if you did. Eden says we are spoiled. We are spoiled. We really are. And then when I look at leaders in countries like Northeast India or the Philippines, for example, too. In the Philippines, my friends, you will find this to be a little, think about it. In a country where you earn $1 to $3 a day, the average person earns $1 to $3 a day. How do you sell an $80 product? Well, you say that's impossible. Well, they do. We do millions of dollars every month in the Philippines. And somebody asked me, in a country where they earn $1 to $3 a day on average, how do you do that? And I said, I don't know. I have no clue. But I'm going to find out. So when I flew over there one time, that was on my mind. I said, how do we do that? And they said, oh, that's real easy. We sell it by the capsule. You sell it by the capsule. Yep, we sell it by the capsule. We get out these little tiny plastic bags and we say, how many do you want? Oh, I'll take 10. Okay, that's 1,000 pesos. They sell it by the capsule. That's creative. That is so creative, because I would not have thought of that. But in that country, they know how to get it done. So I see inspiring things. But I'll tell you one thing too. The culture there is great. Because in some of the meetings I've been to, I remember I showed up to a morning meeting for one particular team. There are many teams. But one particular team, there was probably 100 people in there that morning, and they were all dancing. So the top leader was on the stage, and the music was going, and everybody was going. They were doing, I walked in, I said, wow, man, that's the training? Awesome. Awesome. So when we get together with our leaders, it doesn't have to be about training. I mean, that they just met to get together just to do aerobics and have a good time. It was just a bonding. But they have scheduled times that they do that. And other teams do it that way too. The culture is incredible, just incredible. So, I mean, I just love the culture there in the Philippines. And they're very humble, very kind people. I mean, even, like with me, you know how American, if you're an American, you know this. We're more direct people, right? Even the general manager will joke at me. She said, Jeff, you're so American. You're so direct when it comes to, because I'm like, I'm going to tell you how I feel about something, Filipinos, no, that doesn't work that way. That doesn't work that way. They're very sensitive people, and they're very careful not to offend. Very careful not to offend. And I know this because, like when I fly over there and get up with my band, and I've got music on iTunes. I'm under the artist name, by the way, J.Blue. J.Blue. Anyway, That's my artist name. But anyway, when I go in the studio, I remember, you know, you have good days, you have bad days, right? Some days just, you know, the feeling's not there, or if I'm tired, or if I got the creepy crud on my throat. But I remember I was back behind the glass singing, and then I looked out there at the lead guitarist, and he was behind the board, and I said, how is it? He said, yeah. And I'm like, nah. I said, I'm coming over there. Go over there and say, all right, let me hear it. Oh, that sounds like crap. We're out of here, man. We're out of here. Let's go get a beer. That's it. Go, and I'll schedule the studio like 5 days, because I know we're going to have off. I'm going to have off days. I know that. But I only need a few on days. That's all I need. And so anyway, but it always cracks me up how they don't want to tell you you sound like crap. They're just being nice. Yeah. You know, I'm like, what? You know, I can feel it. I can feel it. Culture, but they got great culture. So I hope you got value out of this. Again, you can share it. By the way, if you don't have my book, shame on you. Reaching the Peak. Reaching the Peak is on Amazon. It's in English and Spanish. Ray Higdon did the foreword of that book. So he doesn't do that for many people, okay? So he's just so kind. Anyway, but thanks all of you for joining tonight. Is that how it is on iTunes? Oh, yeah, we put out the crap, Eden. Is always just the crap, not the good stuff. We just put the crap out on iTunes. Good one. I love it. Everyone, have a great evening. I'll put out some value tomorrow, and see you on the next live. Thanks, Eden. Bye.